work by myself. You can see how close the mobile home is. And this tree is leaning back out over the mobile home like there is no tomorrow. Just crazy lean. I've done worked all these limbs that were way out this way and over it back to where I can start dropping limbs on the rope. And you see the camper. And then of course it's leaning back over the camper. I've done worked some limbs out of it. What I'm about to do is I'm fixing to go all the way up. I'm gonna go all the way to the top because I had to start back there and work with a lift, and then I moved all the limbs that was laying right here. Y'all seen a video the other day dropping that big monster right there. That's the one I filleted that nail on with the 592. Probably start at those longer ones up there. I'll attach to the last one, then I'll come back down and I'll put the rope in the porter wrap and pull it tight as I can. And then I'll clip carabiners on going all the way up through there. I think I've got 8 carabiners, 8 or 9. And so I'm gonna drop 8 or 9 in the length. So I'll start at the bottom one. I'll go ahead and cut it, let it hinge down, it'll hang. And then we're just gonna stack all the rest of them in there on top of it. Once I cut all my carabiners and get them dropped, then I'll come down here and I'll lower it. I hope that when I do that and I look at it, that I feel comfortable enough to go ahead and put my 3/4 rope up in the top of it, up in the very tip top. Derek will be here in a little bit. We'll set him out there on the 726 and hook him to it. I'll put one of my helmets on him where we can talk, and I'm gonna cut that son of a gun. We're gonna send that dude right down through there. Is what we're gonna do, and that's the game plan on this one. I got to get the limbs out of it up here too. It's leaning so bad over this trailer, it's ridiculous. So you see the porter wrap, I've got the rope locked off on it. It goes all the way up to the top through a pulley to the bottom limb. Now we're going to go up there and rig the rest of the limbs on it. We'll probably get all those on the bottom right there. So all we're doing is just choking them and then attaching them to the rope right there, because I want it to just slide down and bottom on that one, and then we'll go to the next one. It's poison ivy. The tree's full of it, man. All right, so you can see, got that one, this one, that one right there, the one below it, and then that big one. We're gonna go down there and start on the big one first. We'll notch it, let it pivot down, hang, and then we'll go with this next one right here. This one here is gonna be a little bit wonky because I'm gonna have to cut it to where to go toward the camper, kind of swing over that way where it'll miss my lift. It's not gonna take much to miss it, but these pines usually hold. They do pretty good when you're swinging them. So this is what it looks like looking down. See, it's just hanging there. Now this one will slide down and hit right there and it'll stop. That's the cool thing about using a pole saw. I can pretty much, even if it don't swing, I can swing over here. I can get over here kind of out of the way, reach over there with it and cut it and make it do what it needs to do. I just want to feather it, see it starting to swing. It's gone. See that? You can make things work like you want to by yourself. It takes a little bit more time. That's some weight on that rope right there. Time I get these next 3, it'll be sure enough loaded up. It's starting to pull that fiber when it starts making that noise. There you go. Just right. And then there were 3. Both of these trees are some real toughies. You see the notch in it. You want a big, wide, open face notch. That notch is going to be 80, 85 degrees because I got a little bit knot angled on the bottom cut there, kind of like a Humboldt. But you want that hinge to work as long as that thing hold and work, because you don't want to start pulling that tree a little bit and then the hinge not be where it can work, because when the hinge can't work, it's going to break that hinge, tear that hinge, and the tree's coming down. Look how bad that tree's leaning over that trailer. And this one right here, same way that you see it. I had it ready to go, waiting on Derek. Derek has some things to do, so it put him at dark. That's the lights out there on the 726 that you can see straight out over the chainsaw. And we were to the point to where, I had the tray ready and we had to get it down even though it was in the dark. The great thing about this is the helmets. I run Sena communication on all of my helmets. I have 4 of them. And so I can, I had a helmet on him, and I can tell him what to do, and even though it's black dark, we can still make it work. So watch, and hope you enjoy the rest of this video. So you want that hinge to work. It's very, very important. On a tree like this, you really need to be in that 10% range on your hinge thickness. You would think that more thickness is better, and it's not, because if it's too thick, the hinge is not going to work. It's going to break prematurely before it's supposed to. And the name of the game on something like this right here is to keep it attached as long as it can, because if that tree is pulling and you're starting to go over with it and the tree has not committed to going in the line where the rope is, and that thing's on that hard lean like that, you got gravity and so much weight on that thing, and all of a sudden that hinge fails. Well, wherever that tree is leaning, that's where it's going to go. So if it's leaning like this and you're pulling it like this way, all of a sudden as this pulling right here and it gets to right there, that hinge lets go, then the tree's going just like that. It's going to fall and going to land. And you'll see it in the next tree. The other one that I cut is in a daylight one. I cut that tree. I'll put a line on the screen and you can see how far we had to move that tree to pull it from its lean back up to vertical, and then to where it got past where the limbs were, to where the rope then got slack. And it's a really good illustration on that one to see how far that tree actually had to move before it went on and gave on a weight of gravity and got past what I call the point of no return and go down. And the thing about these trees here, you got to control the butt of those trees. And if you can keep that tree attached to that stump, the better off you are, because if that tree hits something on the way to the ground, especially like a stump that's out there, and it's not attached to this tree stump also, when it hits it, it can kick that tree left or right or make it do something really funny. And man, like that one right there, when it hit, if it would have kicked just a few feet to the right, it would have just knocked the whole rear end of that camper trailer just slap off. So it's so many different things to consider when you're fooling with trees, the calculations and everything that's going on in your mind. And hey, there's no book that gives you a set diagram of equations that this is the way to do it. A lot of it, you got a baseline on how to do it, but then a lot of it boils back down to experience, knowing what you can do to get that tree down on the ground safely. It's a lot to this stuff, because if you make a mistake, good Lord's watching out for you. You don't smash anything or destroy somebody else's property, but man, you don't want to hit nobody's. It's one thing if you hit a fence or something like that that's kind of simple to fix, but you start hitting a camper trailer, somebody's house, a mobile home, a car, a vehicle, anything like that. And then, as soon as that circulates through the avenues that are there, man, it can really hurt you down the road as far as your business goes. So we all watch these videos, and I kind of call it cowboy cutting, and they do things and it works out for them. Sometimes it don't work out for them. My philosophy is just don't take no chances. Just the odds are already against you. You want to stack the deck in your favor as much as you can before you start that back cut going into that tree. You want to make sure you're going to win it right there is what you want. So appreciate y'all watching. Thank y'all. Y'all have a great day. We'll catch y'all later. Later, taters.